Okay. Well, I grew up on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. I was raised by my grandfather, Joe Standing Soldier, and my grandma, Clara Badwoon, Standing Soldier. And after the passing of my grandmother, I was swept off into the um, welfare system, the Department of Social Services, where I went from foster home to foster home, where for the most part I lost my identity, so to speak. Um, and then I was eventually ended up in the boarding school, where they completed the job of um, being ostracized from the language, etc. I, I was, they were in their last years of what I call corporal punishment. I was often whipped with a razor strap. Um, there was with the rulers to the hands, etc., on the head. Um, and as a result, I didn't want to be an Indian. I thought it was something that Indian people were lazy, that they were drunks, that they were violent, that um, they had no respect for anything. Well, the Lakota way of life, came in bits and pieces that I maintained in my memory as part of my life from what I remembered my grandfather teaching me. He taught me a creation story of how we all came to be here. And he said the Creator created the four races of man, and that he sent each one to a different part of this world. And that's how we became on Turtle Island. So, things like that I kept in my heart as I went. And the older I grew, and it became, I think in the 70s, late 60s, it became popular to be, back then the word Indian was used a lot. And the Red Power movement kind of, then I thought, wow, nobody had told me it was okay until I started catching on to some things and remembering some things that I was taught as a child. That my grandfather said, do not ever let anybody tell you that they're better than you or worse than you. And things like that. And the more I remembered, I began researching the language again, and life became better. I always had that longing to be who I was intended to be.